The Ravens' favorite media pundit, Mike Florio, is now fully on the Ravens bandwagon just a week after the Ravens absolutely embarrassed his terrible take saying the 49ers were going to beat the you-know-what out of them, and they come out and they really dominated the 49ers. The score looked closer than it was. They really let off the gas. We all know that. I'm going to play the clip where he was discussing this week's matchup against the Dolphins and give a little reaction to some of the points that he made. Before we get into that, take a second, comment your prediction for the game below. Now, let's get right into it.
I think there's a gap between the Ravens and the Dolphins. There's a toughness there. AFC North football. When you look at the 49ers, 3 of their 4 losses against the Browns, the Bengals, and the Ravens this year, and what the Browns did, battered them, bruised them, injured them, not intentionally, but it left them worn out and set the stage for a 3-game losing streak. So AFC North football is real. It's the new black and blue division, and I just don't think the Dolphins can handle that right now.
A really good point he brought up. I was going to bring that up. I didn't even know he said that in the segment, but the AFC North is definitely the best division in the NFL. You look at the point he made, the 49ers, 3 of their 4 losses were against AFC North teams. Now, when they played the Browns, obviously, to his point, they did start dealing with some injury issues, but still, 3 of their 4 losses were against AFC North teams. Another pretty good team, the Jaguars, were 8-3, and then they played 3 straight AFC North teams and lost all 3, and their season's on the brink of spiraling, but that's an entirely different conversation here. The AFC North is by far, I believe, the most complete division. They're physical, tough, and it's just a different, I want to say a different style of football, but good teams struggle against the AFC North, and I don't think it's going to be any different when the Dolphins roll in.
Especially in Baltimore. I don't even know what the weather's going to be. We haven't done our weather report yet today. I don't know what it's going to be, but it's in Baltimore. We've seen good teams go into Baltimore this year and get destroyed. Lions, Seahawks. Now, the Rams kept it close, but the Rams are playing pretty well right now. The Rams may be one of the best teams in the NFL right now. And I think seeing what the Ravens did to the 49ers makes me feel even better about the Rams, because the Rams went toe-to-toe with the Ravens in their own building in the rain.
And that's actually a really good point about the Rams. If you would have asked middle of the season or looked at the schedule middle of the season, the Rams looked like kind of not an easy win, because no win is easy in the NFL, but it looked like kind of an automatic win that the Ravens would pick up. But by the time they played them, the Rams were playing about as well as anybody in the league. They're red hot. And now that win is looking more and more impressive as we get to the end of the season. So it'll be interesting to see what the Rams do against the Niners. But yes, that win was very impressive for the Ravens.
So, look, I'm not going to pick this as a blowout. It could be. It could be. I'm not picking it that way. I'm going to keep it close. I believe in the Ravens. I'm never picking against the Ravens ever again for as long as I live or as long as I do picks. 28-24. Ravens beat the Dolphins. The Dolphins should acquit themselves well. The Dolphins should have some confidence that maybe if there's a rematch in the postseason, it'll turn out better for them. But right now, the Ravens hitting overdrive, trying to get that 1 seed, and then hoping they can last longer than the divisional round, which is what happened the last time they were the top seed.
And I think it's actually a pretty good pick. I'm going to roll somewhere around the 31-24, 34-20, 31-21 range for the Ravens to come with a big win. This could be a week that you might expect a letdown after the biggest win of the season, but I think the Ravens see what the finish line right in front of them and accomplishing one of their many goals this season in securing the AFC's top seed. So I think we're going to once again get the Ravens' best. The biggest question I have is who's going to be available. There's some question marks on the secondary about Kyle Hamilton, Brandon Stevens, Arthur Millette. Who of those guys, if any, are going to be able to go? That's going to make a big impact on this game. But I still think the Ravens are going to come out and be as intense as ever and come away with a big win here. Another point that he made about the weather I wanted to touch on. CBS Sports' John Breach has a very interesting statistic, and this is what he had to say. Although I've tried to convince myself that the Dolphins can play in cold weather, the numbers say otherwise. Since the start of the 2017 season, the Dolphins are 1-14 when the kickoff temperature is at 45 degrees or below, and that includes an 0-4 record with Mike McDaniel, as their coach. As things stand now, the temperature for the game is expected to be right around 45 degrees at kickoff. That's very, very interesting, and that's one of the many reasons that I've thought it was so important that the Ravens secure this top seed. Obviously, being home in front of your fans, many reasons why, but Weather in January is another thing. You got teams coming up from the south, like Miami, possibly. That is absolutely going to be a factor if they end up meeting in the playoffs. So it's crucial for many, many reasons. That just happens to be one of them. Like I said, I'm going to roll with the Ravens winning 31-24, somewhere in that range. I think it'll be a great game, and the Dolphins are going to have their moments, but I think the Ravens are just a complete team, and they're starting to figure it out as we near the end of the season. But I want to know what you guys think in the comments. What is your prediction for this game? If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Go Ravens.